going on, guys? This is the Pocket Passer. I'm your host, Randy White. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. I know you guys can see the other chair right next to me, and I'm sitting to my side. That's right, I have a guest today. I am joined by my good friend. It's been a long time coming. He's wanted to be on the podcast. My good friend, Chance Carroll.
Woo! Let's hear it. We're waving back to cheap seats. Let's go, let's go. You want a t-shirt? Yeah! Thanks for the shades, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
How's it going today, man?
Great. Thanks for coming on the show, bud.
Thank you.
Good to see you. It's good to have you on here finally.
Thank you.
All right. So we got a bunch of stuff to get to. You know, obviously, as a Lions fan, he's wearing the Panthers football hat because we were teammates. So it was that. But we got a lot of stuff to get to. We've got Saquon signing an extension, Cole Beasley signing with the Giants. We've got the Raiders signing Marcus Peters. Bunch of signings. Some speeding news from people that like to drive fast. So there's that as well. And what are you doing, my mic?
I just wasn't sure if they could hear me. Can they hear me?
The mic is
It's a prop. It's crazy. I just found this out today.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys have been in the comment sections recently, you might have noticed my comment about this football. It is indeed flat as heck. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Randy. On with what you were saying.
Well, yeah, so what is your take on the Giants signing Saquon Barkley? I know you've got some strong opinions about that. $11 million contract with $2 million signing bonus. His franchise tag was $10.1 million, so they increased his salary by $900,000. It's still a one-year deal because they did pass the deadline for extending franchise tags, and because of that, they weren't able to give him a long-term extension, but they were able to change his franchise tag to a one-year deal worth $11 million, along with a $2 million signing bonus, and I believe some incentives. So what is your take on that, my friend?
Well, to be honest, I'm not big on running back contracts, to be fully honest with you.
Yeah.
You look in
Glad you took the
recent,
mic.
of course. You look in recent history, you see first Todd Gurley, he gets his big contract extension,
Yeah,
and then his knee gets an extension the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Ezekiel Elliott. He gets his big contract extension, and then he's just gone. I don't know where he is right now.
He's a free agent right now.
I
No
think
one wants to sign him.
I think he's in the Bahamas doing some working out on that sand or something. I don't know.
Hopefully he's staying in shape.
Hopefully he's staying in shape.
Otherwise he's doomed. So
Cheeseburger Zeke, that's what they call him.
Cheeseburger Zeke, it's true. Yeah, he got a little bit of a tummy on him. He's declined in his athleticism for sure.
Absolutely. But I'm okay with what the Giants have done with Saquon Barkley because it's only a one-year extension.
Correct.
And that's okay because even if he tears both of his ACLs this year, he'll be okay for.
It's true.
He'll be off the books next year.
That is true. Yes, that is an excellent point. However, if he does tear both of his ACLs, which we of course hope here at the Pocket Passer podcast that does not happen. You know, obviously we would never wish harm on a player. So especially a player as talented and fun to watch as Saquon Barkley. I mean, can you think of a running back? There's not many more fun to watch than him.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
He is a Lions fan.
Yeah, and we don't want him to tear his ACL unless he's playing the Packers or the Lions.
No. Remove me out of this. Just because he's playing the Packers does not mean I want him to injure himself.
We can cut this whole part. We'll cut this whole part.
And the part where you sound like a bad person, I'm leaving it in with the cut. This whole thing is staying.
No.
You're a bad person.
Okay. While we're off topic, I'm thirsty. Heck with you, Chipotle. Shout out Hothead. My Midwesterners know what's up. That part's staying in too.
Fair enough. Now, my golf connoisseur friend and I strongly believe that the best way to play golf is with using clubs that you don't own, that you found on the golf course.
That is true.
So, why don't you tell us that story? Yes.
Gosh, well, the other day I was out on the course, right? And I found this really nice 6-iron. I already have a 6-iron, but I found this one. And I drove up, I drove back, I drove everywhere in the car looking for the owner. And, they were nowhere to be found. And it was a nice 6-iron, and I figured, he's probably got a 7 and 8 that'll do it just as good. So, I don't want to talk about this. I'm not
If you lost a 6-iron, what's it called? Callaway something, right?
It's a paradigm.
It's a Callaway paradigm. If you lost a 6-iron Callaway paradigm and you're in the Springboro area, then
Cut. Cut. We don't need to talk.
Why don't you?
It's not. It's not stealing. I looked for you. You should go find your damn club.
Have your people talk to my people. My people will talk to his people. We'll get you your club. So
it's a Callaway paradigm. Your mom will buy it for you, huh? Is that why you don't care about it? That you left it? You know our friend Zach Wells?
Of course.
Zach Wells had a little incident on the golf course the other day.
No.
He had been playing well the whole time, right?
What did he do?
He had been beating us. He
won, right?
He won.
Okay.
He shot an 8 on a par 3. And
sounds like me.
Did you know that he keeps an extra club in his bag?
Really?
He keeps an old wedge so that when he gets mad, because he just got new irons. He got the TaylorMade Stealth irons.
When he gets mad, he can like slam it.
When he gets mad, he has this extra club. And this kid was just wailing on the turf. Just wailing, yelling at it, and then he chucks it into the woods. And then we all tee off. And then we see Zach walking into the woods. I didn't see him throw the club. But we see him walking into the woods after we tee off. We're like, oh, he's using the restroom, something like that.
Of course.
He comes out with his wedge. And I was like, oh, that explains it.
So that's why he has the extra club. That's smart. Maybe I need to buy like a 2-cent club.
Right? Go to the Play It Against Sports.
I was just going to say that.
Sponsor
Play It Against
us.
Sports. Yes. Give me a call. Have your people talk to my people. And we'll yeah.
Hothead.
A lot of this, I'll talk to my producers.
Sponsor us.
I'll talk to my producers and see if they want me to leave that in. So
Of course, the producers.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, my producers that I pay that I have.
To produce.
They're the same producers that plug in that microphone.
That's a good one.
right. But let's get down to business. Dan Snyder, the officially former owner of the Washington Redskins. Commanders. Well, one of those names was good out of the 3. So you can take a guess as to which name of those 3 was the good name. But he has officially sold the team, and they are undergoing possible rebranding. So possibly a 4th name for the Washington Commanders in the last 4 seasons?
I think
three seasons maybe.
3.5.
3.5 seasons. So the 4th name in the last 3.5 seasons potentially. Do we go back to football team? I mean, when they were the Redskins, I know I have an aunt that lives over in D.C. area, and I know that people that didn't like that name just called them the Washington football team. So do they go back to the football team? That was a widely used name in the politically correct community. So we could see that return. I know a lot of people that thought that name kind of caught some steam at the end. So
did
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I remember last year when they were voting on the Commanders, and I don't think the Commanders is a terrible name. I think
it's not the worst name.
It rolls off the tongue right, but there was also
it's just not great
consideration. I think the team name that was in the lead in voting because they were letting the fans chime in.
Yeah,
I think it was the Red Wolves.
I heard Red Wolves a lot. Yeah, Red Wolves,
and that doesn't roll off the tongue the same way for me. That's why I like the Commanders a little more, and I really like their black uniforms that they have now.
They are pretty.
Those are clean. Those are
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, the black and the yellow, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, those are pretty clean. I will agree with that. I thought maybe we could do some brainstorming and maybe help Washington. We'd have similar to the Commanders since they are in red. We could do the Washington Commies.
The Commies. It starts with a C.
Yes.
Let's think. What about the hot air balloons? Because I've seen a red hot air balloon.
I have
the dodgeballs.
The dodgeballs.
Is
that because they dodge winning records? Or?
It's because they dodge winning records and because dodgeballs are normally red, but not all dodgeballs.
I see.
I don't want to classify anything.
Of course, the best ones are red.
The best ones are red. I didn't say that. You said that.
Gym class, you get tagged in the face with one of those.
It
leaves a little red mark. That's the right way.
Johnny Test, there was the word on the dodgeball, got imprinted on his face. You remember that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. I think this is a very productive brainstorm. I really do. I think these new owners up there in Washington have a lot of good material to work on now.
What if they just named it after a former player? What if they named it Deshaun Taylor? Deshaun Taylor's.
Sean Taylor. The Sean Taylors.
The Sean Taylors.
I thought you were saying Deshaun Taylor, and I was like, that's not a person.
The
Sean Taylors.
THG.
I got it. Yes. Yeah.
Washington Reds. Sean Taylors.
we could name them. We could give some respect and appreciation to a marginalized community that used to have land in the nation as a respect for their
land.
Their land. Yes, as a respect
Right.
as respect for a group of people. You know, we could name them that. What would be a good way? The Washington Native Americans?
No.
It would be the Washington.
Well, I think it should be the Christopher Columbuses. I think. One moment, please.
I caught me off guard. It starts with a C. It starts with a C. Oh, we're moving somewhere.
And I heard that he really wasn't adept to the amount of sunlight that we get here. So his skin was red. So
it's true.
There's something to go with that.
And doesn't smallpox make your skin red as well? So it was that.
Oh, did he have that?
He didn't have it, but he brought it here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So a lot of historical respect and a reference in here.
Who'd they get that from? Some girl on the boat?
I don't think that's how smallpox works.
Cut this out.
That part's staying in. Just
No.
this means that he said something that he shouldn't have said. So just
Action.
see that part's staying.
No, it doesn't need to stay in for editing reasons.
I'm kidding.
I know.
But yeah, all in all, for editing reasons.
All in all.
This podcast is gonna take me hours to edit.
Oh, I hate podcasts like this.
I
I used to make the. If you haven't seen
Chance Carroll vlogs.
for the vlog,
Yes, sir.
Wait.
That's what's.
let's see if he actually watched it. He watched them. Congratulations! Let's give him a round of applause, for everybody.
Yay! If you don't know who the Chance Carroll vlogs are, my good friend here, when he was in junior high, would make vlogs from when he was running track, and our principal was in a vlog. He had an exclusive interview with Mr. Franks himself.
Two exclusive interviews.
2 exclusive interviews with Mr. Franks himself. The former
dog.
or current junior high principal. Is he still the principal there?
He is the former.
Former? Okay,
I think they
thought
moved
so.
schools.
That's right. Yep, that sounds right. Okay, so the former Springboro Junior High principal. 2 exclusive interviews with him. So,
I have one question. This doesn't need to stay in.
Yeah.
Do you ever turn the football the other way so that's just yellow and green? Looks like nothing on it.
No, I can't say that I have. Why?
For me, I think
You don't want.
that's the angle.
Yeah, because
As a Lions fan,
is
I
that
think
just
that's
because
the
you don't
angle.
want to see the Lambeau on the screen because you're upset with how many times you've seen your team go there and lose? Is that what it is?
Sweep you this year, bud. Okay.
How about the years before that?
Sweep you this year, bud. Sweep you this year, bud. Kirby Joseph.
That is how we're gonna argue against Packer fan. I'll give you that. I will
Kirby
give you
Joseph.
that. All right, so Jordan Addison, I have written down here in my notes. Jordan Addison doesn't know how to drive. His reasoning for going 140 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour speed zone was because of a dog emergency.
You know
Now,
what
I
that
know-
sounds like to me?
What's that?
Dog.
Sounds good.
Jordan Addison cannot drive.
Correct, he can't. And having your dog, I mean, some of you might be dog lovers. Some of you might be big time dog lovers. Me personally, I'm not super close with pets. I've been told that's a indictment on my character, but that's for you to decide and for me to care about. So,
Shout out to the cat people in the world! Woo! Woo!
also not me. But with that aside, I don't think that a dog emergency is a good reason to go 85 miles over the speed limit.
So what my colleague just here said that he was going, what was it?
85 miles.
85 miles over the speed limit.
Correct.
Now everyone is, throwing shade at Jordan Addison, saying this is bad, this is bad. I'm going to defend him, okay? Because you see, if I were going to speed excessively, I wouldn't do it on a highway. Everyone knows there's cops watching on highways, and that's in a 65, right? So what's the next best thing? A 55. If you're gonna speed, do it in a 55. You heard it here first, kids.
I really don't like the way you ended that with the. I like to preface that by
Steal your mom's keys and go out for a joyride right now. Do it.
This reminds me. This reminds me of that Key and Peele skit where he's like, "You can really fly, kids. Listen to me. You can literally fly. Get up on your rooftops." Yeah.
Kids, you can actually fly. No, not literally. Yes, literally, kids, young kids. I want you to go up on your roofs right now.
Wait, what?
Fly into the night sky.
Don't do what he just said.
So Randy, how you feeling about Aaron?
Aaron.
Aaron and them
Aaron.
Jets. Jets.
Jets.
Jets.
Well, I'm not a Jets fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. As you guys may have been able to tell in my Aaron Rodgers rant where I defended his character for probably a little too long. But I think the Jets are going to be pretty good this year. The tricky thing with the Jets, and I haven't looked at that division schedules yet, I'm probably going to get around to that at some point this week. But the issue with the Jets is they're in a division with two other really good teams with really good coaching staffs. I really like Mike McDaniel over there in Miami. I think them bringing in Vic Fangio on the defensive side of the ball along with Jalen Ramsey at corner makes things really, really tough on, obviously, division competition. So the Dolphins are going to be really good. They're going to win a lot of games this year. The Bills are very, very good. Josh Allen, the top 3 quarterback in the league. And as I've said before, I think when he plays his best football, there's no one in the NFL that can hit his level. I don't think there's anyone more impressive with the football than Josh Allen when he is playing at his peak ability. So, obviously, the Bills, great. Stephon Diggs is a great receiver. They bring in Damian Harris at running back. James Cook's going to develop. He's Dalvin Cook's younger brother, so surely he'll be at least solid. And the Bills' offensive line solid. I have question marks about their offensive coordinator. I didn't love the way they managed the offense last year, but that division is just loaded. Bill Belichick's obviously a super genius, and that division's great.
I got 3 points to bring up about what you just said.
Of course.
All about different teams, so
Gotcha.
it's going to be difficult to talk about.
Of course.
Let's start with A, Bailey Zapp versus Mac Jones. B, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about potentially Teddy Bridgewater to the Lions. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I did see that.
You did see that.
I did see that.
Very
I just saw it,
intriguing.
I don't know, 30 minutes ago probably.
And and the Bills, right? Speaking of the Bills, and you were talking about their offensive coordinator
Yes.
and their running game,
Yes.
there's a little trouble in paradise over there I've seen.
Interesting.
Have you heard about this?
Lay it on me.
It's Naheem Hines.
Yes, Naeem Hines. I did write this down, so I was going to touch base.
You want to go from
Absolutely.
C to A?
No, we can go with A.
Okay.
We can go with A.
Bailey Zappi versus Mac Jones. How do you feel about this?
Guys, McCorkle was going to win the starting job. McCorkle Jones is clearly the better quarterback. Bailey Zappi had some lightning in a bottle for a couple weeks. That tends to happen when you have players that have some athletic ability. Bailey Zappi can move, and that's a big shakeup in the game plan to what Mac Jones was able to do, which Mac Jones is very clearly a pocket passer. Bailey Zappi had some mobility on him, so when you have that change up at a position that runs the offense, it's going to throw things off for defensive game plans when you're used to game planning for someone who's not going to leave the pocket, and suddenly you're running zone reads and Bailey Zappi scrambling and getting yards out of the pocket. So that's going to kind of shake things up and make things harder on a defense the first couple weeks that you're going to play a guy. But once the league starts to figure out, okay, this is what Bailey Zappi can do, this is what he can't do. The limitations are clear in the passing game, and he's just not better than Mac Jones. I think we can both agree that Mac Jones' struggles last year can be chalked up to the fact that Matt Patricia, man, you know very well, as he was your team's head coach for a year or two. Was it 2 years?
I think it was 3.
3? Oh my God!
It was a horrible.
I'm so sorry.
It was horrible. That's when it's awful. We don't need to talk
and
about that.
Joe Barry, the failed head coach of the Giants. So
hey, Matt Patricia did get payback on his old team though. Did you see what they did to the Lions this year?
what, 27-0?
I think it was 28-0. It could have been 27-0, but
Okay.
it was probably to chalk up to the defense. But you know who quarterbacks that game?
Was it Bailey Zappi?
It was Bailey Zappi.
Yeah. Like I said, different game plan.
Different game plan. Shake things up.
Shake things up, man. Shake things up.
All
Maybe
right.
I mean, that's why the Ravens with Lamar Jackson his rookie year. Lamar Jackson clearly his rookie year not the thrower of the football he is today. I wouldn't say he was even good at throwing the football against NFL defenses. But Joe Flacco started the first 12, 13 games of the season. Lamar would get sprinkled in there with some wildcat stuff, occasional short passes. So then when Joe Flacco gets benched for Lamar late in the season, and all of a sudden you go from pocket passer Joe Flacco, who might run for 20 yards once every 3 weeks, when he's not getting KO'd by Kiko Alonso. When that's not happening, Lamar Jackson, obviously the fastest quarterback in the NFL, the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL when he's healthy. You can make an argument for Justin Fields now, but certainly at the time it was Lamar. And when you have that kind of a changeup, it's going to really shake things up. Lamar Jackson obviously won the MVP the following season. But surely that's something that's going to go, whoa. And the Ravens were very successful with Lamar Jackson up until that playoff loss against the Chargers, where the Chargers did beat their brains in. But before then, there was some very clear success that I don't think they would have had with Joe Flacco at the helm.
You think the Packers might go for that sort of offense with Jordan Love and what is it, Alex Magoo?
Alex Magoo. Well, Jordan Love.
Is that his name?
I'm not sure, actually, to be honest with you.
I don't think it's Magoo.
I haven't
It's
been
something like that.
I haven't been nearly as my Madden play has declined. I no longer see the rosters as much as I used to. Like I used to be able to name the 53-man for the Packers a couple of years ago because I was playing
used to
Madden
do it
every
for the
day.
Lions. Ask me right now.
That's
It'll fit in the podcast.
okay. Go ahead, dude.
Jared Goff. Nate Studfeld. Hendon the Hooker. David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs. Craig Reynolds.
You go faster.
Josh Reynolds. Amon-Ra St. Brown. DJ Chark. Psych! Marvin Jones Jr. Jameson Williams. Penei Sewell.
2 hours later.
Halapua Vaitai Vete.
That's a fun name.
Frank Ragnow.
Yes.
Jonah Jackson. Taylor Decker. And that's the offense. And I will, for time's sake, not do the defense or special teams.
You said you could do the 53-man.
You want the 53-man?
You said the 53-man.
Aiden Hutchinson. John Kaminsky.
Stop pausing so long in between names.
Josh Pascal. James Houston, who, by the way, is a dog. Is a dog. James Houston is the rookie we had last year that got 8
I'm thinking of
sacks.
Justin Houston. I'm a little slow.
James Houston is the rookie who got 8 sacks in 8 games last year.
No, he's a dog. Yeah.
Pretty, you know what I'm saying?
Alright.
Give me a little.
Yeah.
No. I think I just heard a cat.
Yeah.
No, he's got that dog in him. He's gonna bite. He's got that grit. He's got that Dan Campbell mentality.
He's got that take your kneecap off mentality.
Yeah, no, not even take that kneecap off, right? You know what their mentality this year is?
What's that?
It's talent with character and chemistry can overcome adversity. Is their mentality for this year. That's how I feel about my golf game. Not talented. I got a good character. The chemistry between me and my golf club isn't working, but the adversity is there. And you just got to divide by...
So what you're saying is you're not overcoming the adversity.
No. See, I'm saying that you got to divide by... You subtract adversity, right?
Yeah.
You subtract that over.
Of course.
And then you divide by chemistry and talent. And
Yes.
so really,
You're left with character.
character and adversity equals being good at golf. So I got it. I'm good.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Solid math for my friend Chance Carroll.
I took high school algebra
He did, in fact. He took it his 8th grade year, actually.
and my 9th grade.
Yeah. He took it.
Did you
both
take?
ways.
You took it. You were in my 8th grade class and you dropped out.
I did in fact drop out.
Wow.
I got a 67% on like an opening quiz, and they're like, "This is basic knowledge. You should know this." And then I got like, it was worse than 67. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what it was.
What was the next item on the agenda, Randy?
Well, B.
Of course, B.
Yes, B.
That was Teddy Bridgewater.
Correct.
Of course.
Of course.
How do
So,
we feel about this?
Potentially getting signed. So, I mean, you guys already got Jared Goff. You guys got Hendon Hooker. Who was the other guy you said?
Nate Studfeld. It's actually Nate Sudfeld.
I know. He's not much of a stud.
He is not, but you have to hype up every opportunity you get.
Of course. I mean, I did the same thing when Tim Boyle was on the Packers roster.
And then when he became a Lion.
His first game, I get a text from this dude saying, can you take Tim Boyle back?
It was awful. It was the worst quarterback play I've ever seen.
Tim Boyle, by the way,
I'd rather have
the Jets.
Good for him.
To back up Rodgers.
I'd rather have David Blau as my quarterback. I'd rather have him as my quarterback.
Hey, you heard it here first. Give me a call.
Randy,
NFL teams.
how'd you do in high school?
I can throw the ball about 48 yards on a good day.
With wind.
With some wind. Wind wouldn't hurt. I wouldn't complain for sure. You know, I've never once in my life thrown the ball over 50 yards. I weigh 170 pounds, so perfect weight to take an NFL hit from someone like Aiden Hutchinson. You know
who is
I'm
6'7", by the way.
Yes.
Aiden Hutchinson is 6'7".
Speaking of height, subtract 6 inches from that, and you get my height. So I don't think I'll be able to put up many points on him in basketball, let alone football.
And subtract 100 pounds. I'm pretty sure he's 270, 260.
Sick, dude. Well, this sounds like one-way ticket to lots of money, and all that money will be left to my will, because I will not pass the first week. So, yeah. Long story short, sign me. Secondly, back on topic. Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater. He is an okay quarterback. He's definitely starting caliber when you need him. I would take him over Nate Studfeld any day of the week. I don't know how you feel about that, but I would say if you're going to sign Teddy Bridgewater, obviously you're not cutting Hendon Hooker. You just drafted him. So Nate Studfeld is effectively heading to the practice squad, if that's the case.
You know what I like about this move? Hendon Hooker, this is basically going to be a redshirt year from him, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
He's just going to sit on the sidelines the majority of it.
Learn from an adult, a veteran,
Jared Goff.
A student of the game, and Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is a great quarterback, and having a little more veteran presence in the room would not hurt.
One of those guys that's a smart guy. He's not athletically at the peak of the NFL, but he's one of those very solid guys.
Can move.
I was talking about Jared Goff.
I know, but Hendon Hooker can move.
Dude, Hendon Hooker's a dog. I watched that Tennessee-Alabama game. That game was
my goodness.
That was a sick game.
You know what?
Scary field goal.
You know what? Yeah. And,
but
it was scary, but you know what was even scarier?
What?
Like 5 minutes later with the field goal. Imagine you're just a little kid on the field staring up at it. You know what I'm talking about?
The goalpost.
They tore down the goalpost?
Of course, yes.
Back on topic, you know who Hendon Hooker reminds me of?
Who's that?
His situation learning from Jared Goff for a year?
Who did you remind you of?
Little Patrick Mahomes.
Interesting.
Commonly known quarterback. And that's great because Jared Goff and Alex Smith are perfect comparisons.
Yeah.
In my mind.
But honestly,
bridge quarterbacks can be around for 3, 4, 5 years.
Alex Smith, I think, was better than Jared Goff that year.
I don't disagree.
That year. Alex Smith was very good that year.
Alex Smith was...
Now, he probably was a top 10 because there was more good NFL quarterbacks, I feel like.
But that's exactly where Jared Goff, isn't it? You're right, there were less good quarterbacks. I feel like there were more good quarterbacks back then.
I mean, there's still a lot now, but I feel like there's a pretty heavy drop-off.
But you still had Aaron Rodgers playing better. You had... I mean, Patrick Mahomes was...
Big Ben at the time.
You had Big Ben.
Tom Brady at the top of his game. Phillip Rivers was playing good football.
Drew Brees was still there.
Drew Brees was playing good football. Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson, I believe. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Probably. I think so. This was only 4 years
That was Deshaun Watson's rookie year, I think, so maybe not.
This was still only 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes, this was 2017.
Yes, 2017. We've talked about this before.
Yes, because that was the year. So did Deshaun Watson get drafted the year after Patrick Mahomes, or the year after, right?
They might have been the same draft. When was Dakota Rain drafted?
Dakota Rain, that was 2016. Dak's rookie year was the year before, because that was when the Patriots beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship. The year after that was Alex Smith's year. The Titans beat the Chiefs in the wild card coming back from down. I think it was 21-3. Marcus Mariota's first career playoff touchdown pass was a deflection to himself.
That was his first ever touchdown pass?
Playoff touchdown.
I did not know. Oh, okay. That makes
Playoff
sense.
touchdown pass.
That
He
was
was,
a
he was
cool
scrambling out of the pocket. He threw it into the end zone.
It gets
batted back
goes
down
back
into
to
his
him,
hands,
he
and
runs
he just
in.
ran dove for the
He
pylon.
was across the line of scrimmage.
No, his foot was there. His foot was
He
behind me.
was across. The line.
Dude, I just saw the replay the other day. I'm watching the quarterback show, and they showed that clip.
I know he was across the line of scrimmage.
His foot was on the line. If his foot's on the line, he's not past. Your whole body has to be past the line of scrimmage. For
Okay,
a penalty.
that fine.
That's
That
the
makes
rule.
sense.
Yeah.
Back on topic. Hendon Hooker,
course.
maybe going to be a Patrick Mahomes type talent. We don't know. But as you may have heard, the
This
Lions.
is a Lions fan with wishful thinking, by the way. just so
I'm
you
very
guys know.
wishful thinking, but
Yeah.
as you may have heard, the Lions have a lot of hype around them this year. Is that not true?
Of course, and I completely agree with that hype. By the way,
Now, if Jared Goff goes down, what happens to that hype?
I think
If
it
Nate
plummets.
Studfeld is your starting
I
quarterback,
think it plummets. I don't think the Lions win the division.
if Nate Studfeld is your starting quarterback for 5, 6, 7 games, do you make the playoffs?
No.
Probably not. You're probably losing all those games. Now, Teddy Bridgewater. If Jared Goff goes out, for
And that's why I think the Teddy Bridgewater signing would be very good.
if Jared Goff goes out for 4 games, right? Say he sprains his shoulder, something like that, and Teddy, do you think you can trust Teddy Bridgewater to split at least? Go 2
I'd
and
say
2?
so. I'd say so. Teddy Bridgewater's always been a serviceable backup since he got healthy from that bad knee injury when he was in Minnesota. He's been around the league a lot, backing up a lot of guys, having to come in, start occasionally, and he's been very serviceable at what he's done.
You know what's very cool about that?
What's that?
You remember when he was with the Saints and when he went 5-0?
5-0.
And his
yes.
time there? You know who happened to be a coach on that team?
Don't say Joe Brady.
Dan.
Oh,
The
Dan
man Campbell.
Okay.
Dan Campbell.
I thought you were gonna say the offensive coordinator. I was like, wow, that's big time.
Joe Brady. Was that the offensive coordinator for the Saints?
No.
Then who's Joe Brady?
Not
What connection does that have?
nothing. What's the name of the offensive coordinator for the Lions?
Ben Johnson?
Oh my god.
Ben Johnson has never been an offensive coordinator with us. He was a tight ends coach a year and a half ago, and then became
I don't know why I was.
coordinator.
What am I thinking of Joe Brady for?
Tom Brady.
No, because Joe Brady's a real guy. I'm pretty sure he's an offensive coordinator somewhere.
He's no Jim Bob Cooter.
It's true.
He's no Matt Patricia.
That might be a good thing.
He's no Ben Johnson, and that is the truth.
Ben Johnson. Didn't you say PFF rated him
I believe-
number 1 play caller?
Number 1 offensive coordinator, but
Number one
I mean, it might have been play caller. He is the play caller for offense.
Yes, and he's done a fantastic job. I think it's a lot of the reason for Jared Goff's impressive development can be attributed to Ben Johnson's spectacular job over there in Detroit. You know?
He does a great job of scheming players open. You look at one, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Did you hear Phillip Rivers is having his 10th kid? You know why?
Because he's a machine!
No. He was an offensive player, right?
Yes,
Good thing he wasn't a defensive player.
so true.
He couldn't tackle. You know why?
You gotta wrap up, man.
He just can't wrap it up.
You gotta wrap up, man.
He just can't wrap up.
You can't do it.
He can't do it.
You gotta get low, you gotta get your shoulder to the hip, you gotta get your arms around, you gotta wrap up, you know? Can't do it.
Cut. We were talking about Amon-Ra and
Yes.
his rise to stardom and how that might connect to the timeline of Ben Johnson being an offensive coordinator. It was earlier Amon-Ra's rookie season that Anthony Lynn was the Lions' offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Former Chargers head coach responsible for Justin Herbert's fabulous offensive rookie of the year season realized that he was not a very good play caller, and we ended up letting him go somewhere. It might have been in the off season, but we stripped him of play calling responsibilities. Dan Campbell started calling the plays, and Dan Campbell has never called plays before. It was very run heavy. It was very grungy. I remember one game versus the Cardinals where DeAndre Swift had like 200 something rushing yards. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
It was so cool, and that really describes Dan Campbell, if you ask
Yes,
me.
it
Run
does.
heavy,
Dan
hard
Campbell
nosed,
to a T right there.
right to a T right there.
Yes.
It was fantastic. Ben Johnson had been the pass game coordinator, and it wasn't until he got elevated to that position from tight ends coach that you really saw players start to take off, one being Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say about Amon-Ra St. Brown other than he's the hardest working human being I've ever seen in my life. Did you know that he stays after every practice to catch 202 balls from the jugs machine?
Damn.
Do you know why?
Why's that?
Because he heard some other guy was catching 200. I'm serious. I'm not joking.
I love that. That's that MJ mentality.
He's
That's
got-
that Mamba mentality.
he's got
right there.
something
I appreciate
different to
that. I respect that a lot. And catching balls from the jug machine, by the way, is very difficult. I know personally, having seen this man attempt to do it. So, from experience, I can tell. From experience watching, I can tell you, it's a struggle. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It was a joy watching him work on those jugs machines, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, that wears down your hands. That ball comes firing at you to the face.
It does.
Real fast.
It does. You gotta make the triangle.
You gotta make the triangle, and it's more like a.
It is. You gotta come through. You gotta let the ball come to you. Don't come to the ball. Otherwise you drop.
Yeah, it's like that. Only
Triangle.
triangle.
Check
True.
this one out. He flinched. What I don't think I'm allowed to say that word. Anyway,
It was reactionary.
you know what I think is really cool about that work ethic and that 202 catches after every practice?
What's that?
Have you seen Amon-Ra's Madden rating?
87, right?
Or his catching.
Oh,
His rating for catching.
95 probably.
97.
97.
I think he's
okay.
the third highest. Probably D-Hop and Devontae are above him, which I think
Is
is.
D-Hop still above him?
I think so.
I mean, D-Hop would have made sense a few years ago, but I feel like he's been injured, and Madden
Well, and
always,
who has
Madden
better,
always tanks people.
who has better hands than Amon-Ra?
Maybe Jay Jettas. I don't know.
Jay Jettas is probably above him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably Jay Jettas and Devontae.
If I had to guess, I'd say so. Because Devontae, I know, has had like 98 catching the last couple of years.
You know what,
99 catching.
My favorite catch of him was this season.
What's that?
Not Devontae, of Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
The one in the Packers game, I think week 18, where he caught it like under his ass. You know the catch I'm talking about?
I think so.
It like went. He was like falling down and it went between his legs and he caught it between his legs.
It's going to be somewhere on the screen. Right?
Yeah.
This in.
It was-
Probably, if I can find it.
It was a crazy play. I remember watching that game over at your house. We were here.
That was
One-
what I'm saying.
That game was memorable. That was one of the hypest games I've ever
Every time I have
seen.
you over to watch a Packer game with me, they lose.
I know, it's awesome. We had money on that game. Guess who won?
Did I ever pay you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um,
That was a perfect opportunity for you to say no, give me your money. Like you've done on so many occasions where you just lie to my face and tell me
Right.
I haven't paid you.
Where's my money?
Where's my money at? Where's my money?
Tell them to bring me my money.
You owe me $8.
What from?
Chipotle.
True. True, that's true. I did tell you I would reimburse you. If
Well,
I couldn't get you to 50.
I would have gotten a regular burrito had I known that
It was
that
gonna
was
be
gonna be a
$16.92.
like a $17 burrito.
Hey, dude, steak and barbacoa double is expensive.
I didn't know it was double. Since when? Since when? I said I want those. He said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Double
double.
steak.
Brock Purdy.
We have not talked about Brock Purdy yet. Tell
Well,
me
Brock
what you
Purdy's
think about
cleared.
Brock Purdy.
And I know I saw someone say something about how Trey Lance was a dark horse MVP candidate. And Brock Purdy has just been cleared. So I think we can eliminate
Wow.
that. Right? We can write that off now.
Absolutely.
That's not happening. First of all, Trey Lance was not winning MVP regardless. That team is even if they did well, that roster is too good. Trey Lance would have had to lead the league in touchdowns and yards, and even then he probably still wouldn't have won it because that team is so good, and Kyle Shanahan's such a great coach, and all the credit would probably just go to that system and the talent in that system. So that wasn't happening. Really stupid. You know who else I saw, by the way, on that dark horse MVP candidate list?
Sam Darnold.
I hope not.
I hope not as well. Seeing ghosts out there, maybe.
Yes.
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 Who else did you see on that list?
Well, I saw Dakota Prescott.
Dakota, right?
And, yes, Dakota Rain Prescott.
Oh my goodness.
And I would
didn't-
say also no to that because, I mean, I think a rule is you got to win either the first game of the season, you got to win the tone setter, right? As we say on the Ballaholic squad, you got to win the tone setter, or you got to win the season ender. You know what I'm saying? You got to win the last game of the regular season because that's how you head into the offseason with a positive mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? What do you think his record was in those 2 games?
0-2.
And that is just unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. Unacceptable. Really is.
So I'm guessing I got that right then.
You did. It was on
Okay.
2. He lost 19-3 to the Buccaneers, and then he got mollywopped by the Commanders.
Oh, by the Commanders, by the division rival.
Yeah,
With
done.
Sam Howell is
Correct, Sam Howell, who, by the way, balled out. Yes, he did. Dog. I mean, not 1 touchdown.
2.
Maybe even 3.
I think it was 2.
It's probably 2.
They were good though.
I was trying to get you to say, what?
Not 1 touchdown. Do it again.
Not 1 touchdown.
What?
2. Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh. Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, Trayvon Diggs, 5-year, $97 million extension. I don't know about you. You're shaking your head. You don't like that deal?
Learn how to cover. He's like the Bojan Bogdanovic or Luke Kennard of football. He's great at shooting threes, right? Getting those interceptions, the big flashy plays, but he can't play a lick of defense. He cannot. What was it? 1,000 yards he allowed last season?
It was 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons. He still allows way too many yards. He's not a shutdown cornerback.
I thought he improved drastically last year, though. I actually disagree. I think Trayvon Diggs is absolutely worth this money. It's tough to come along a superstar corner. I mean, it's really important. I think I was talking about the fundamentals of successful defense. Right now, the Cowboys have most of that in place in terms of being a good team. You talk about having a good passer. You talk about having guys protect that passer. I know Dak Prescott's kind of a hemina, but
he needs to stop throwing the ball in the bleachers.
Or to the defense.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to stop just seeing ghosts.
He guarantees less than 10 interceptions this year. I don't think that's likely, but I would love to see it. Because me personally, I don't know how you feel about Dak, but I love Dak personally.
10 interceptions.
He's a great dude. I think he's fun to watch when he plays well. He's a really good leader. He seems like a really good, humble guy. I'd love to see him do well. I just don't see it happening. I think.
And, was Zach Martin? Was he who we were going to talk about next?
Zach Martin is absolutely who we're going to talk about next. Because Zach Martin is not participating in training camp right now.
Why
he wants to be the highest paid guard in the NFL. When he signed his contract that he's currently on, he was the highest paid guard in the NFL. Since then, guys like Quentin Nelson and Elton Jenkins have been paid more than him. Both, of course, premier guards in their own right. But there's no question about it. Zach Martin, at the very least, is better than Elton Jenkins and probably Quentin Nelson right now.
Quentin Nelson has been on a slight decline. I'm not saying he's getting bad. I still think he's amazing, but
Quentin Nelson's
if
still
Quentin
a dog.
Nelson was right here, he's right here now.
Yes.
Zach Martin is
Zach Martin is
way
still
up there.
elite of the elite. I mean, that dude is unbelievable. So I understand he's trying to chase his bag, but at the same time, I mean, you signed the contract. You went for not just the money, but long-term security. Usually guys have to either go one or the other. You either get the money now and it's short, it's not long-term security, or you get the long-term security and a lower price. He got both. You know, he got the money and he got the long-term security. I think you just kind of have to sit in the bed that you made, you know, when it comes to that. I don't think that's how the saying goes.
I think to a degree. I think I've heard talks of Patrick Mahomes trying to get his contract reworked because he signed a 10-year, $500 million contract.
450 or 500? It was 500. Right?
I think it was 500. I think
it was 450 guaranteed, and then like up to 500.
Either way,
crazy deal.
There's quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is making.
Aaron Rodgers is getting paid more. Jalen Hurts is getting paid more. Lamar Jackson's getting paid more.
And that shouldn't happen for
Joe Burrow is possibly about to get paid more. Josh Allen getting paid more? I think he is.
He's getting paid. Daniel Jones is making $45 million a year. Do you think that Daniel Jones should be making almost as much as Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, obviously not. But that's the way this NFL QB market is going. And obviously, I know you mean no disrespect.
No disrespect to Daniel Jones. Is what
I mean, he's a dog in his own right. You know, Vanilla Vic out here.
Dog. Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic.
I don't know about that one, man.
Hey, on that play that he stumbled because a sniper shot him in the leg, he hit, I think, 23 miles per hour.
Good for him, man.
You know, I mean, he can move.
You know who's really a discount to market?
Who's that?
Jared Goff.
It's very true.
Jared Goff. How much he's making?
What, 30 million?
I think it's 30, maybe 32.
32, yeah.
I think it's 30 though.
And at the time of the trade, don't know about that, but now you got guys like Daniel Jones who are making $40 million, and I think Jared Goff is probably better than Daniel Jones.
Isn't it 45?
40 or 45. It's something
One
like
of the
that.
two.
It's a lot of money, and it's more money than I personally would want to pay Daniel Jones. But in this current QB climate, if you don't pay those guys what you want, you get stuck with guys like Jameis Winston, who take positive 10-yard sacks on the last play of games. You seen that clip?
Positive 10-yard sacks?
I mean, obviously it wasn't a sack, but have you seen that clip of him? It was like the last play of the game, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen for the viewers to watch, but he's moving in the pocket, and he keeps hitching up, and he moves past the line of scrimmage. He's still pump faking, and he's shuffling forward. It's the last play of the game. He gets tackled, and the clock runs out. The game ends. They lose. And he's going... And he's shuffling up in the pocket, and he passes the line of scrimmage by literally, I think he goes 10 yards downfield. I think he goes 10 yards downfield. And then he finally drops his hips and goes like this, and just gets wrapped up. If he would have ran, it would have been a walk-in touchdown. Because it literally, he was literally shuffling 10 yards before anyone got to him. Like, it took forever for them to get to him. If he would have hauled ass and sprinted, they would have won the game.
Jameis, I was just going to say something about him. I can't remember.
Dude, Jameis is so funny.
Jameis
cracks me up, man. I love Jameis.
Can you imagine Jameis and Jamal in the same room? They're on the same team.
Is he still in New Orleans?
Jamal?
No,
Jameis.
Jameis.
Yeah.
Jameis still in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Those are the two funniest dudes in the NFL, in my opinion.
What did he say?
That's not us!
No, I was gonna say,
I love Jamal, man.
Jamal's got that dog in him.
Jamal absolutely has that dog in him.
What was I gonna say? I remember what my first coach told me. He just told me to play football.
Man, we were out here, we played discipline. It was they beat the Packers. It was week 1 of Rodgers' second of his back-to-back MVP years, and they beat the Packers, I think 38-3 or something like that. It was bad. They got murdered. Yes, it was very, very bad. And he was like, yeah, man, we were out here staying disciplined. I'll never forget what my coach said to me. He just said, what did he say? No, he was talking about being prepared. He's like, man, I just feel like we were prepared, man. We were really prepared, And I'm butchering it, but he's like, I can't forget what my coach said to me. He just said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared. That was, I love that clip. I'll put it up because I butchered it, so obviously I'm going to let the audience see what it actually was.
Well, I just think we were prepared. One thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
But, oh, man, I love Jameis, man.
What's next on the agenda, Randy?
Well, next on the agenda, the Giants signed Cole Beasley. We were talking about the Giants earlier with Saquon Barkley, and I think that was a good job by them because Saquon's market value, running backs are tricky to judge with market value with where they're at. But Saquon's probably a $14 million running back when he's playing well. When he's healthy, he's arguably the best pure runner in the league. He's got unbelievable legs to where he's just so strong and powerful running the football. He can run through just about anyone, and yet he's also one of the quickest running backs in the league. His feet are so fast.
You know what that means to me?
What's that mean?
A draft Giants wide receivers in your fantasy league. As soon as you sign a running back to a big contract, it means they can't do anything. So you start passing. And also,
keep in mind he does poorly in all of our fantasy leagues.
I've won the past 4.
You won a league?
I've been bad like the past year and a half, but before that I was just destroying. I got first 2 years and third another. And that's all the years I played fantasy.
And obviously, I was talking about the Giants, I brought up Saquon, but what I think was a great veteran signing, Cole Beasley. Yes. He's been in the league forever. He's a savvy veteran, and that man does not drop footballs. He's got some great hands.
Yawn. What team did he play for last year?
Bills?
Did he even play last year?
No. But look, I think
take a year off.
He might have taken a year off.
Or did he?
He was solid. He was solid with the Bills 2 seasons ago.
He's old.
He is very old. But I think
next, man's not contributing. It's like Adam Thielen on the Panthers. Adam Thielen will do more than
Cole Beasley.
But Adam Thielen's getting up there.
Now you're holding the mic that doesn't work to you.
Shut up. Keep rolling.
All right, finally, remember when Chance was naming the first 3 letters of the alphabet earlier, and we stopped at B.
You can edit that forward. You can just say, oh yeah, and C was Naheem Hines, Randy. How do you feel about the Naheem Hines injury?
Is that how you say his name?
Naheem?
I honestly don't know.
It's one of those two.
I wasn't judging you. I'm just asking. I haven't said not sure. Naheem.
No problem.
Yeah. He is unfortunately out for the year with a knee injury that he sustained when he was in his jet ski stationary, and someone else who, he was stationary. He wasn't even moving.
I haven't heard how he got hurt. I assumed it was in practice. How did he hurt his knee?
He was stationary on a jet ski. He was just chilling on a jet ski. It was stationary.
Ow!
No, someone hit him. Another jet ski rider hit him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is just...
those jet skis can be tricky. They have no brakes. Not everyone knows that. Like, you just... No, I'm serious. Like, you go 100 miles an hour in a jet ski, right? You're like, wow, this is cool. And then you just... How do you stop? You just have to keep going.
Could curve out of the way and not hit the dude that's not moving.
Yeah, I guess it's...
I mean, if he's stationary, then you should have been able to see where he was at from a little ways away.
You would think
and been like, okay, so as long as I don't point my jet ski there,
I'll be okay.
he'll be okay.
That happens.
I mean, how you gonna do the man that had a kickoff return for a touchdown and
Twice.
Was it a playoff? It was twice.
Twice
It was
in the
twice.
DeMar Hamlin game.
It wasn't the DeMar Hamlin game.
But was
it the game after?
It was the game that he got released from the hospital, I think.
Was that what it was?
Or something like that.
I mean, Naeem Hines went crazy, and he's a talented player. You know, he's not like one of those peak running backs. He's a solid special teams guy, a good returner, as we obviously just said. I mean, you can't return 2 touchdowns in a singular game if you're not a good returner. And I mean, he's a serviceable receiving back, so it really sucks to see something like that happen. You know, really unfortunate. Hoping for a speedy recovery from Naeem Hines. I think that's all we got for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Peace out.
Yep. I appreciate all of you for watching. I will see all of you in the next video.